should take prompt action when notified of product recalls. The outbreak has sickened more than 50 babies in 19 states, including Hannah Everett's 4-month-old daughter Piper in Kentucky.
She had finished that entire can literally the day before the recall. You just kind of feel like you failed as a parent in some ways.
So far, no deaths have been reported. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
It's been 6 months since a driver deliberately slammed his minivan into a sea of fans in Liverpool, injuring more than 130 as they celebrated the team's Premier League championship. Today, Paul Doyle sobbed as he was sentenced to more than 20 years in prison. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
From holiday hosting to unforgettable gifts, Omaha Steaks delivers the world's best steak experience. And now, during their Sizzle All the Way sale, you can get 50% off site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, our listeners get an extra $35 off with promo code SKY at checkout. I was lucky enough to receive Omaha Steaks as a gift, and it was everything I had hoped for. Items were individually packaged so I could cook for the entire family. Or if I was the only one home, I would treat myself with a delicious steak, sides, and even dessert. I loved those nights by myself. Right now is the perfect time to save on delicious gifts and holiday hosting favorites. Every steak is perfectly aged to maximize tenderness and hand-cut by master butchers in America's heartland. It's holiday magic made easy. Save big on gourmet gifts and more holiday favorites with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Sizzle All the Way sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code SKY at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's omahasteaks.com, code SKY.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro. FM 100.5 Smyrna. Audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
And good morning, everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday morning edition of the Roundtable Show with Rick and Wayne. And good morning, Wayne. How are you, buddy?
Good morning, brother. I'm good. A little cold. I can't remember one winter from another, but this just seems like it'll be a little colder start of December.
It's being mean, isn't it? It's just nasty, mean.
Coming out of church Sunday, it was just, I don't know a word to describe, but it was miserable. It was so cold. I even got out the old wool coat that morning. So.
Well, it's Tennessee, so wait 5 minutes because Friday it's going to be near 70.
Well, so. I was going to say, isn't it getting up to 50 today, Brian? So,
we have a level 1 out of 5 for severe storms on Thursday.
Oh, that's right. Great news. With high winds. I think they're saying winds are going to be worse than
great
wet weather.
So, little going into a little bit of, I don't know the word, malaise. With football starting to wind down, and used to get excited about the bowl season, but with the playoffs and the way it's been rearranged, and with NIL and portal, it's just difficult to get excited about it like we once did.
And all the players now are sitting out. That they're declaring for the draft.
Right.
And, Smyrna High, that Arian Carter, he's junior at UT. He's foregoing his senior year and going in the draft.
Boy, I hated that. I was hoping he'd stay another year. So, but it's just, Vanderbilt had such a good season, and then their quarterback, make a statement.
Laid an egg, didn't he?
Yeah, laid an egg. So they can't get a break, can they?
Well, no. We'll see if he gets another year, though. He's suing them again. So.
Well, yeah, it's NCAA. They almost don't have any authority anymore.
No, they don't.
So might as well. these big conferences, it's giving them the big paychecks to do what they do. Probably start withholding them, I suspect. So
That's right.
We'll see. So, Brother Rick, we got a great guest, a friend of both of ours this morning. Has a good name to remember, Chris Clark. With was that Channel 5?
Channel 5. The Chris Clark at Channel 5.
Years, so,
that's the first celebrity I can remember I ever met. He came to Smyrna High School it was like field day, and he came down and he didn't have a suit on, and I was like, God, that man looks familiar. Then they introduced him, and I thought it was the greatest thing ever. I thought he was like 10 foot tall.
Yeah,
kind of like Chris. When I see Chris, he's 10 foot tall.
So today we have the director of Rutherford County Emergency Management Agency. Am I saying that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, Chris, great to see you again. I enjoyed being with you when I was on the commission, and of course, Rick being on the commission now and running for re-election. You and he get to hang out some. So glad to have you this morning.
It's an honor to be here.
So I'll go ahead and tell you, like so many people, we get emergency management agency and emergency management services mixed up, so you may have to clarify the difference for our audience.
Well, a lot of people confuse it. It's just kind of some letter exchange, but emergency management agency is kind of totally different than emergency medical services, EMS. So EMS and EMA. However, I've worked for both. I spent 14 years on an ambulance, which is EMS. Also become over our special operations unit. I did that for a long time, built it, and then responded. And I've been very honored, very grateful in my career with the county. And I worked for the city of Laverne for 6 years. I really enjoyed that and learned a lot. Met a lot of friends, and I'm grateful to be where I am today.
Are you a Rutherford County boy?
I am. I lived here all my life. In fact, my grandparents used to own the Sea Cafe.
That is way cool.
Ernest and Ethel Watson. My mom was a teacher's aide at Mitch Nelson Elementary, or primary, and then my dad worked at Holden's Hardware for years, and then eventually owned Drake's Barbershop. Raised and born here.
Oh wow, didn't know that.
Yeah, and then my history of water wells. My uncle is Herman Clark, out in Eagleville.
Yeah.
And Tam and Teresa, and so we have a long history here in Rutherford County, and I'm just blessed I get to work in my own hometown.
That's right.
So where did you go to high school, and what was your school history here?
So I went to Mitch Nelson's, both of them. I went Central and middle school, and then Oakland High School. Okay. The cool thing about it is my whole family's graduated from Oakland High School. Mm-hmm. So I have two daughters, and now I have a grandson, and another one on the way. But both my wife and I graduated from Oakland High School, 90 and 91, and then my girls graduated from Oakland as well.
They, of course, they just won their latest 6A football state championship, and their FFA program recently was awarded a number of awards nationally. So, Mr. Marshall and the administration and the educators there kind of got it going right now.
They do, and it's great to live in Rutherford County. We have a great school system. We have great emergency responses. We have great neighborhoods, and I think that's the reason everybody's coming to Rutherford County.
You can do something about I-24.
Well, that's a mess every day.
We're not going to fix that one anytime soon.
I've been in many meetings of how we can make it better if there's a wreck, and rerouting traffic and things like that. And if we shove traffic onto a parallel roadway, then it just makes that a mess as well. So I look for over the years to hopefully some improvements there, and be honest with you, I'm just glad I don't have to travel that every day. and bless the ones that do.
Exactly. I had a dentist appointment yesterday in Brentwood, and just getting to Brentwood and back.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize you had to drive that far.
Yesterday at 4 o'clock, I had to come home from Brentwood.
Yes.
It was an hour and 21 minutes to get from door to door. It was absolutely terrible. So you got, when I got started with Smyrna PD, it was 92, and it didn't seem long after that I met you with EMS. So what year did you start?
92 as well, in October of 92.
Yeah. What got you the bug so quick for emergency services?
Well, it's kind of funny that you asked. My grandfather that was with the City Cafe, he retired, and he started developing dementia. And so at night, I would stay with him and my grandmother while I was going through high school.
Mm-hmm.
And one night he got sick, and we called 911. Back in the day, we didn't have 911. We dialed the number, whatever it was, and an ambulance came. And they were the most compassionate, caring people, and I said that's who I wanted to be. As I wanted to be able to take care of people just like they did.
What a great story or experience. That's amazing.
That's what got me into this.
Well, I was an outlaw. The cops got tired of chasing me, so they said, join us so we can quit chasing you. So there I am. No, I'm kidding, but I felt like it.
You know, I was able to, I was a volunteer fireman, and, you know, for years, and, you know, I became a paramedic before I was legal. I was pushing Schedule 3 narcotics before I was legal age to drink. This is all I know is take care of people during emergencies, and hopefully put some normalcy back in their life.
I did not realize you had worn so many different hats.
Yeah, I've been blessed to see all fields. You know, we had an incident back in the early 90s where a police officer was shot in a narcotics sting. In Laverne, and the sheriff's department came to us and said, hey, we need medics there close the next time this happens. And so we became, there's a group of us that became tactical paramedics. And one thing led to another, to the point where we were in high-risk warrants and barricades and many different situations that were high risk. And that's kind of how this all got started. And then 9/11 happened, and really 9/11 made my job in special ops, where we did all of the technical rescues, hazardous materials, diving, with water rescues, all those kind of things. So many hours of schooling and training and teamwork, and designing that special operations team to be one of the best in the Southeast. And I had some really good personnel that were dedicated and very, very smart in the split decisions that they made.
And I think that flood, May of 2010, we found out how important SORT was to Rutherford County, because when it hit here and all the mess that we had, and I think Murfreesboro and Smyrna and Laverne and everybody got wide-eyed real quick that it's an issue, especially down on the north end of the county. We needed services like that.
Yeah, and you know, we have to be visionaries as far as what to anticipate as the future comes. One of those was a water rescue team, and Mike Nunley, which was my boss, the director of EMS, said, hey, if you're going to do this, you need to do it right. And so we spent years of training and doing all that. May flood, we were very busy. I believe we made 80-something water rescues that day in Rutherford County.
Goodness.
North end particularly. Murfreesboro didn't get it as bad as Smyrna and Laverne. Once we completed those missions, then we ended up getting called to Metro, Nashville.
Yep.
I ended up in Cheatham County as the operations section chief that ran 2 or 3 different counties there. And it was a long situation that just seemed like it wouldn't quit. And so after about a week of just put your head down and go, we finally got things wrapped up.
Of course, I think I made a mistake. I said emergency management services, but it's emergency medical services, and you're emergency management agency.
Correct.
So you're kind of an umbrella over a lot of services.
So I describe emergency management as facilitators and coordinators.
Yes, sir.
And so we facilitate a lot of training and cooperation and coordination and prepare our public for disasters, prepare them for severe weather, and make sure that everybody is aware of their surroundings.
And if you think of TEMA, Tennessee Emergency Management Agency, that's the state thing, and then every county's got an EMA director that would answer to the state, and there's grants and things that can be a pass-through through his agency out to our locals as well. But any storms or anything, you can kind of go into that a little bit of what you do.
Yeah, so in the event that it's a large event, or it kind of incapacitates our local responses, then we will activate the Emergency Operations Center. And that's where all the coordination resources come from, and that's what I oversee, and making sure that before, during, and after the event, that we try to put these areas back to somewhat normal. So in the event of a tornado, our position, it doesn't stop until our community has started that recovery effort. When I got hired here, I believe we had our first COVID patient on March 13th. I was appointed to this position March the 30th.
Lucky you.
And, you know, I've never ran a pandemic, but I don't know who has. So
Sure.
Basically, put your seatbelt on, we're going for a ride.
That's right.
And we have some of the best personnel, best support, everybody working together for a common goal, and it's great. I've sat there and watched mayors direct traffic during vaccinations and testing. I sat there and watched commissioners jump in to assist in wherever they could. We had a meeting on, I called a meeting on January the 1st, right after, so it would be 2021. All the mayors, city managers, we all met on a Zoom call to establish State Farm as our vaccination center. And everybody jumped in. And there wasn't a resource that we didn't have in Rutherford County that we needed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was pretty neat.
And I think that goes by past experiences and everything else where I bring back the floods, because I remember just being a member of Smyrna PD and the fire department of how much we learned on that flood and our inventory and everything else. Because I'll never forget, EMA had came to us and TEMA and said, okay, we need a roster of everybody that was involved in it, all equipment that was used, all of our fire gear that was used, because not only you got flood waters, then you think it's flooding your sewer, so all the contaminants in your sewer then is in the flood water, so all the gear that you use is now contaminated, and it's not usable anymore. So then there's a reimbursement process that we can go through the federal government and be able to get that. So you really had to keep the logs, and it was beyond the 2-man, 1-man out that fire departments used to have with when guys went in fires. It was the whole equipment, everything that was used, even down to pike poles, ladders, everything that you had to keep up with. So I think from 2010 we learned a lot to when the pandemic hit, and I'm lucky I retired in 2017, so on the law enforcement side I didn't have to deal with that as much. But it was tough sitting back on the sidelines after only being out 3 years and watching that happen after doing it for 25.
He's still struggling.
It was a tough.
Yeah, well, it gets in your blood.
It is in his blood. I can guarantee
it's in your blood, and I've had some difficulties switching and transitioning. I've always been a field guy, an operations guy, and be out there with my personnel, and whether it's a wreck, high angle rescue, a dive, whatever it is. And now, my role is a little different, and it sometimes struggles, but I have great staff that kind of keeps me in line.
Keeps you grounded.
Yeah, they do a good job.
So do you have any relationship with Homeland Security
I
then?
do. Yeah, so we talk to them quite a bit as far as intel and things that are happening around our communities. One of the things that we have maneuvered around is large events. So we're very cautious with large events and gatherings, and the Sheriff's Department, Murfreesboro Police, Smyrna, Laverne, even Eagleville, we have these large events. We want to be proactive in making sure that our community is safe from somebody, some type of ugly actor that wants to come out here and hurt people. And unfortunately, we're in that time. So we deal with Homeland Security quite a bit.
I don't know how to ask this question, because with Homeland Security, they've kind of their branches, I guess you could say, have really evolved over what it used to be and when I was working to now. But there's so many different divisions of Homeland Security now. Sure. that I don't know how you keep up with all of it, to be honest with you.
Well, my job is about relationships. And I think that from the small first recruit EMT or fireman or police officer to the time that you become chief, director, it's all about relationships. Mm-hmm. And you start those relationships before anything bad happens as far as disasters and things. So we become, it's a little bit easier to communicate when we're on the scene. And you and I developed a relationship a long time ago, whether we're working a car wreck or a house fire, whatever it may be. But it's about relationships. And when it comes to relationship is trust. Mm-hmm. And we have to have that amongst ourselves to do our jobs.
We're just looking at the possibility of it. It come through public safety a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago that our radio systems here, because we've all kind of been on when you and I started, we all were on kind of the same low band radio systems. It was nothing more than turning a switch and you could listen to everybody else to talk to everybody else. Mm-hmm. And through time and this modernization we've kind of gotten away from that. And there's a little thing about consolidating our dispatch systems and everything else. But I want to talk about that maybe when we get back, because we're getting our first break. But I want to explain to everybody what that study kind of looks like, because it's a little controversial, but I want to kind of explain it a little bit, make everybody understand. Does that sound good?
Sounds great.
All right, you listen to Chris Clark. He's the Director of Emergency Management Agency here for Rutherford County. We're going to take a first break and be right back with you in just a minute.
Sweet. Well, good.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
Every holiday season, MTE joins in the fun, supporting and taking part in local Christmas parades. From Murfreesboro to Fairview to Franklin, we light the streets, celebrate with our neighbors, and share in the joy of the season. Good energy is the heart of the holidays, because it's more than electricity. It's the spirit that powers every celebration.
This This is Chip Walters, and I'm honored to be your 2024 MTAR Realtor of the Year. I'm with Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, and like many of you, I've seen the real estate market shift and change. People often ask, Chip, what's really going on? Well, that's a great question, and I believe in answering with solid, factual data. So let's cut through some of the noise. I invite you to reach out. Let's have a conversation about your real estate goals and the current market trends in your neighborhood. You can find all my...
That's why Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance is here, to make sure you have the right coverage without all the hassle. He'll work hard to provide you with personalized service and finding the best solutions for you and your family. Whether you're looking for auto, home, or business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency. Let him handle the details so you can focus on what really matters.
Mills Family Pharmacy.
Here at Mills Pharmacy, we do compound medications.
Craig Buckner with Mills Family Pharmacy.
Compounding medications are prescriptions that are not commercially available, or you need a special formulation. If it's a liquid, suppository, or specialized cream, we make that in our lab.
Mills Family Pharmacy offers a wide range of compounding, all to create custom medications for you.
We're at 2994 South Church Street, next to Toots.
Customized services at Mills Family Pharmacy.
Good Neighbor Events is brought to you by America Pest Control, Old National Bank, and the law offices of John Day.
Friends? Yes. The financial partners whom you've built a relationship with at Old National Bank are still at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard location, right here in the borough. And so are the warm, homemade cookies.
Cookies are ready, dear.
Like Grandma used to make. If you need online and mobile banking, Murfreesboro's Old National Bank does that too. You and Old National Bank, better together.
Old National Bank at 2230 Dr. MLK Jr. Boulevard. Old National Bank. Member FDIC.
Now, WGNS Good Neighbor Events. There's so many memories tied to this time of the year, and a grief support group is very helpful to many. There is a free grief support group every Wednesday morning at 10 at the St. Clair Senior Center. That's at 325 St. Clair Street, here in Murfreesboro. That's 10 o'clock Wednesday mornings. Don't forget, it's the holiday season, and Nourish Food Bank needs your help. Donate food, clothes, your time, and of course your money. Nourish Food Bank is on Memorial next to Elders Hardware. And remember, this is the final week for the White Oak Holiday Bazaar. Local artisans are selling their beautiful jewelry, pottery, woodworking, and so much more. That's 10 until 4 each day. The White Oak Holiday Bazaar at the Art Center of Cannon County in neighboring Woodbury. Don't forget the buy one, get one free passes to SportsCom and the Patterson Community Center are available now through January the 18th. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor Events.
Rutherford weather.
We'll see mostly sunny skies here this afternoon with a high in the low 50s. Then for tonight, we'll see increasing cloud cover with a low near 35. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki from the WGNS Rutherford Weather Center. Currently, it's 29.
Broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios, MTE has provided light, comfort, and connection to our community since 1936. As your trusted energy advisor, MTE is always here to help. Connect online or download the My MTE app.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And good morning and welcome back to the second segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And we're honored to have the director of Rutherford County Emergency Management Agency, trying to get the acronym correct this morning. I messed them up the first time. Chris Clark, not to be confused with the with Rick's former idol on Channel 5.
Not about idol. He's my first celebrity, other thing.
Okay, well, there you go.
You know how difficult that was going through elementary school with that name?
Oh, yeah. I bet. Yeah.
Everybody asked me what the weather, but...
And Bill Hall.
Yeah.
He was Channel 4.
Yeah, he was Channel 4.
Yeah.
Ron House.
Ron House.
Snowbird,
I met Bill Hall at Fate Sanders.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Sure
really?
did. Went in there, was
Yeah.
getting fuel on my boat, and walked
Yeah.
in, and he's sitting right there at the front counter eating. And I thought,
And he's a big fisherman.
he stayed out there.
Yeah,
It was first of many when I saw him
Such a
at first
terrible
time.
hobby.
Teresa
You
and I-
reckon?
Teresa and I got to go on a one of those little organized trips to Scotland and Ireland with Rudy Kalis and his wife.
Cool.
And he's a really neat guy.
Uh,
But you had started in on a question at the end.
We're off subject right now because we
Okay.
just said something else I wanted to know. So you and I emceed the Smyrna Christmas Parade.
Yes, sir.
And there was a boat that came through, a bass boat. It was all rigged out, and it was something with a C. I've never heard of the name of the boat, but it had the biggest motor I've ever seen in my life, but only said it was a 250 on that thing.
It's huge, yeah.
And then he had all these monitors across that thing that were, I guess it's sonar. I know what it is, but
Yeah.
it must grab fish and put them in a boat for you. But what?
I wouldn't say
Chris is a Mr. Fisherman. If you don't know already, if he's off, he's on a boat somewhere.
I did not know that.
What?
I'm on a pontoon, but I'm not going
I'm on a bass boat.
What does a bass boat cost these days?
Oh, it could around 80 to 100.
That is crazy. Crazy.
Well, mine don't cost that much.
So how big is your outboard?
It's a 250.
Okay. Wow.
Mercury. It runs about 72 miles an hour, but
Wow.
I don't care for the speed.
I wish I
But
could remember
I'd
that
like to
boat,
know that
but-
I had the capability if I needed it.
Well, I rode on a Bullet bass boat one time on Priest, and he finally slowed down. And I was like, "Get me to my boat." And he
Yep.
said, "Well, I'll turn around and go back." I said, "No, whoa."
Yeah.
Because I wasn't in control of that boat, but man, we
You
were
get it-
skipping. The boat wasn't in the water. We just had the stern.
throttle.
That's it.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
anyways,
We have a pontoon that has a 90 horsepower, and we're at Four Corners. We load up with the grandchildren. We go out and find a cove,
That's the way to do it.
and we anchor and stay there for anywhere from 4 to 5, 6 hours. And then we just come right back because we try to stay out of the way of all the cowboys on the wave runners.
Chris and his
stuff like-
$80,000 boat.
Yeah.
I got you. I can't
No, mine
imagine
don't cost
80
that
grand.
much.
Golly.
It's outrageous.
That sure is. All right, back to what we were talking about. So we're doing a study about consolidating our PSAPs or our dispatch centers and everything else. It's nothing more than a study, but we're kind of looking at it because of having dispatchers. We're having issues now because of our growth, that where we overlap calls or we're sending units from different jurisdictions to the same call, not knowing any better. But going at a little bit about what that means and how that could help us or versus what we got now.
I think that we have ran the same type system for all my career that I can think of. We've had some computer aided dispatch software, things like that. But, we've grown so much that, Murfreesboro and Smyrna, Laverne, and we've got a lot of jagged edges. And so if you are in one of those jagged edges, it could go to the closest PSAP, which may not be the jurisdiction that is supposed to be responding. And so we want to make sure that we are utilizing our taxpayer money appropriately, efficiently, and the best that we can possibly use it. And so we need this study to look at how can we be better. They're great, but we can always be better. And so we want to really look at it, drill down, what can we do to be more efficient with our response.
During my last tenure on the commission, we were trying to enhance the coverage with towers and stuff like that. It was my understanding before I left that we were able to reach, all over the county, from Laverne to Eagleville to Las Casas. Is that still problematic?
No, actually, our communication has improved greatly with the new system.
Okay.
Our responders can talk to one another. In fact, we've worked really, really hard with our mutual aid partners to make sure that if they come into our county, they can talk to us and we can talk to them.
Okay.
If our law enforcement cross jurisdictional lines, that we can talk to one another. If our state partners come in to help us, we can talk to one another. And we've worked really hard doing that. And that plays into the fact of this unified dispatch study. What does that look like? Well, it could be that we tie all our computer-aided dispatch CADs together, utilizing the same mapping system, utilizing the same radio system, utilizing the same dispatch policies. So, we have 5 different governments here, basically. And we want to make sure that everybody is kind of doing the same thing. And I think that's where we're at.
It's not a metro, but it acts like a metro in certain little aspects of it.
Yeah, I look at it as a team effort.
Yeah.
We're one team. We all have the same mission, and the same goal is to take care of the citizens of Rutherford County. Right now, we just kind of do it a little different ways from each department.
Well, it doesn't stream as easy right now that it could, maybe.
Yeah, so we're going to bring in some professionals from other areas of the country to see what we can do better.
See, at the end of the day, it comes back to money. I mean, that's with us on the county commission of how to fund things. And I know when I was on the commission before, and after 9/11 had occurred and everything, and then it became this big thing about Homeland Security that's when it was made after 9/11. And then we had these yearly grant processes that we would go after, and it's called UASI now. But when we first got in it, we were kind of like Rutherford County, and then we took care of several smaller counties south of us, for Shelbyville and Marshall County and Coffee and a few others. But a lot of people use it as a toy thing, and here we were at that time trying to get off the old they're not CB radios, but they were close to it, high and low band radios, going to 800 megahertz and digital, so we could reach better and get better radio systems. And we were trying to fund things like that, but everybody else were wanting gators for football games and things because they really didn't see the same eye that we saw in Rutherford. So, and I know UASI's still around, but the funding, I don't know if the funding's still there as it was once before.
Yeah, the funding's still there. It may not be as much now.
Yeah, I mean, it was they were throwing all kinds of money to every state back in there.
And so, the federal government is very focused on certain priorities when we spend this money.
Yeah.
Whether it is, protecting. Now, one of the priorities is protection of the election commission, which has not been one of those focuses until the last couple of years. So that's where we can only spend our money that we receive. There's other projects there, but that's kind of a different thing that we've seen in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I was kind of aware of that, but I voted against the Bank of America building. It was 20-1. I was the lone guy out, but it kind of had EMA in that building and fire in that building, elections in that building, and those 3 are pretty important things. And
emergency management's a little bit different. Going through these processes, as we look at, our office needs growth. We cover the whole county, and we have some of the best staff there, and they do a great job, and we can utilize more staff. However, we've kind of grown out of our office. I don't have anywhere to put a new employee. So
you feel like the school system now, don't you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So
because they're putting them
with that growth,
they're putting them in broom closets.
Sure, but with emergency management and the emergency operations center, we have some codes and policies. When we build these type buildings, they have to be somewhat hurricane proof, and so it has different requirements than an office building. It's critical infrastructure that when things go bad, this is where people go as far as our decision makers and how we respond to these events. So just to be honest, I'm probably in one of the most secure offices in Rutherford County. It was built in 1946, I believe. So, but it's a rock building there, well on West College Street, and
it's a National Guard had it at one time. Am I right?
Used to be.
Yeah.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
The National Guard Armory.
Somebody I talked to one day, that's where they served their drill time on the weekends.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people play basketball in that facility. But it's a great building. You know, we're grateful for what we have. we're growing out of it. Just like all these other departments that are growing out, we're just a little bit more specialized in critical infrastructure.
With the 2010 floods, just a massive deployment of resources. With the Palisades fire in California, is that something that you plan for here? That if we went through, I can remember back in the late 80s, we had drought like 86, 87, 88, and it was so dry. Do you ever foresee any possible way something like that could get out of hand?
Yeah, we have subdivisions that are stacked on top of each other. We may have a huge field beside that subdivision as it's been built, but the next thing you know, that field catches on fire. Along with all fire chiefs, police chiefs, all of us, we collectively basically prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And those big events are constantly on our minds, and how we can manage that and make it a very effective response with saving lives and casualties. And some of those things can get out of hand. Tornadoes is one of our biggest problems here. We always said, well, it's Tornado Alley out there in the Missouri, Boot Hill, all those places, and we're on Tornado Boulevard.
That's right.
And for some reason or another, it likes Rutherford County very well.
Well, I tell you what, the Easter tornado through Murfreesboro, that's something you don't ever forget.
Yeah. So the Good Friday tornado, I was heavily involved in that response. I've never seen Murfreesboro tore up as bad as I did that day. It actually hurt me to see it tore up that bad. Unfortunately, we lost two people, or a baby and a mother, during that tornado. We had probably, I think we had 56 casualties that day.
Mm-hmm.
And we had several people trapped in their homes. It took us a while to get them and dig them out. And, I think I'm very grateful living in Rutherford County, where we do have some resources. We do have the people. We have very, very solid community to help one another. Recently, we had a tornado, I believe it was last year in Readable. And it's amazing to see the community come together and take care of their neighbors. And what was so unique about that is if you go down Readable Street, the left side is Rutherford County. The right side is Cannon County.
That's right.
And so it
I did not realize that.
Yeah, so it brought a unique perspective when we talk about paperwork and reimbursements and things like that. And we have a phenomenal staff there at the office that collected all the paperwork and man hours and all these kind of things to make sure that reimbursement from the federal government, and it was really a minimum cost to Rutherford County and Cannon County.
Talk about on that one with the Amish that came out.
Yeah, they were amazing. So, they have a disaster response. I just didn't realize how well they operate.
They're a well-oiled machine.
I'm telling you. And probably couldn't have been as productive as we were without them. And we're very grateful for that community. And
you caught me flat-footed. I did not understand that to be a
So there's
a thing.
Amish community, obviously, in Cannon County and other counties around us. But the way they operate in their communities, they're self-providing to themselves. So they get these groups of men, and they have a job, and the ladies have a job, and man, they don't miss a beat.
I know with the hurricane damage in West Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee. They were very prominent in them and coal miners coming down from West Virginia to assist.
And it's amazing to me how people come out and just want to help, and it's our jobs to kind of guide them in where they need to help, or where they can help us and help the community. And so we work on that. We will secure an area. We don't let bystanders in after a certain hour. We let the homeowners in and make sure that they got their belongings, and then we'll hold and secure that for as long as we need to make sure that everything's taken care of. It's pretty neat how everybody works together. I just get to be the guy that helps do that, and that's an honor.
Sure,
right. It's how many people get to do that, and so I don't look at my job as a job. I look at it as an honor to be able to do what I get to do.
Yep, sounds like a calling too.
I contribute that to my grandfather, I guess, to a certain extent. And here's the thing, I don't think that people understand public safety and what their families have to go through. They have to give up a lot. So as everybody sits at the Christmas dinner table, we got men and women out here that are serving to make sure that we're safe. Yeah. We have dispatchers that are sitting behind consoles and taking care of those people. So it's not a regular job. It's kind of not a career.
That's right.
It's kind of a lifestyle.
I didn't really learn that until it was, I guess, 3 or 4 years in my career, and the house at the corner on Front Street that used to be all the library and college and front right there. You go down Front Street now and you see a vacant lot, and you see the steps go up, and it's an old black ornamental fence. But it caught on fire Thanksgiving morning, and we worked that fire all day. And Smyrna Fire at that time was just starting as being a full-time, and we didn't get a full-time fire department until 95. And so we had on call, like volunteers. We had public safety officers, but we had our volunteers, our public safety, which were police officers, and a few of the full-time guys, and we worked that fire all day. Yeah. So the whole plans that we had for Thanksgiving and going to see family and everything else was shot that day for those 25 guys that were out there on that fire, because we couldn't get that sucker out, and it ended up being set fire, and that's why it was so hard to fight it, is it got such a good head start on us. But I learned at that day that, hey man, it's not only a job, it's an investment, and you better be ready, because you're going to be working the holidays.
There was a lot of Christmases and a lot of Thanksgivings I didn't get to stay home with my family, and I get to now. For the most part, and get called and have to leave, but my family's taken a beating over the years.
Yeah. You listen to Chris Clark. He's the emergency management public safety director, I think basically is your title, right? Correct. But we're going to take our second break and be right back with you in just a minute.
Whether it's a cough, a fever, or something you can't quite name, MMC Now makes care easy. Walk right in, get seen quickly, and your visit connects directly to your MMC doctor. Care you trust, with providers you know, with digital check-in and multiple locations around town. MMC Now is here when you need us.
Murfreesboro Medical Clinic.
This is Shannon Woodfin Parsons from Woodfin Funeral Chapels in Murfreesboro and Smyrna. The holiday season can be very difficult. We want to wish everyone a happy holiday season, especially those who have lost a loved one. This is Shannon Woodfin Parsons with Woodfin Funeral Chapels, serving our community since 1893.
Merry Christmas, Rutherford County. I'm Kenneth Barrett. I'm running for sheriff in 2026. This time of year brings back lots of great memories of those who have gone before us those still with us. I love sharing time with my family, friends, swapping stories, and laughing. I've been proud to call Rutherford County and the Sheriff's Office my home my whole life. When elected sheriff, I will continue to work hard, keep our families safe, and serve with honesty, integrity, and heart. From my family to yours, Merry Christmas.
Hello, I'm Adam Tipton with Farm Bureau Insurance. For over 75 years, Farm Bureau Insurance has proudly served Rutherford County, helping protect what matters most to our neighbors. If you're new to the area or just new to us, please give us a chance to earn your business. Give us a call at 615-893-1213 or visit us at 818 South Church Street in Murfreesboro. Our agents and staff are ready to serve you. From our team to your family, we wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Sign-ups are going on right now for First Shot's Winter Basketball League in Rutherford County. Coach Andy Herzer guides kids to sharpen basketball skills and build teamwork through exciting clinics and games. Since 2003, First Shot has empowered youth to grow in mind, spirit, and body. Don't miss out. Join the fun and develop lifelong skills. Visit FirstShotTN.org today and register for the Winter Basketball League. That's FirstShotTN.org.
This is Kim Dunaway from Sunshine Nutrition Center. You hear me on Monday mornings at 7:20 talking about how to lead a healthier lifestyle. We carry supplements, personal care, and grocery items at both our Murfreesboro and Smyrna locations, family owned and operated since 1989.
Folks, I hope you listen in every Sunday night at 8 o'clock to the Edwin Lee Raymer Show. We'll talk about some local politics, national politics, all types of topics, all types of guests. That's 8 o'clock Sunday night, Edwin Lee Raymer Show. Talk to you then.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And welcome back to the third and final segment of Tuesday Mornings with Rick and Wayne. And it's certainly been our pleasure this morning to have Chris Clark, who is the director of the Rutherford County Emergency Management Agency. And I thought I knew a lot about your about what you do, Chris, but I have been enlightened today. So thank you. This has been a treat for me.
It's a little bit broad. It's a broad position. I'm just honored to be able to serve in it.
Rick was talking about a number of the fires that have been around the area here in the last short time. I guess fires are probably, well, floods too, but are probably something that just really are problematic right now.
Well, and it's an everyday event. However, as we get into these cold months, we probably turn on more heaters. We overload our outlets. We look at wood burning stoves, and we haven't cleaned them out as far as their chimney sweeps and things like that. So, just yesterday, Rutherford County Fire responded to 2 garage fires at the same time.
Running heaters.
Wow.
Running heaters or those kind of things, and people trying to make sure their pipes don't burst or freeze up. And so we just have to be very, very careful and make sure that you have smoke detectors. If there is a fire in the home, make sure you close the doors to prevent any further spread. And, of course, make sure that you have a place to meet out there at your house, whether it's at the mailbox or thing, as if you evacuate that house.
We lost a child years ago in Smyrna, and it started what we had the fire and police camp that we do every year in June at the Smyrna PD and it's a thing between Smyrna Fire and Police Department. But the officers responded that night, of course, blue lights and everything going on, and we think the kids saw and got scared and stayed in the home. So we wanted that relationship going, and we were able to show police officers one-on-one with their, the kids, and be able to see them, and firemen, and then the firemen in their full suits and, with the air packs and everything going, because, it's a scary thing seeing some 6-foot tall firemen coming through with a big mask and helmet on their head, and it's making strange sounds. And
that's right.
So talk about that, the gift of preparing a little bit, and
yeah. So as we go through the holidays, think about the gift of preparedness. Our response is they do a great job in responding to these fires and disasters and things like that. But I think that everybody needs to take the time to take care of themselves, making sure that they have the water and some food for 96 hours. Make sure they have phone chargers and warm clothes, and just have that mindset that if this happens, this is what I'm going to do. There's a couple of things that we saw a couple of years ago was rolling blackouts.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. That became a little problematic. Everybody did a great job, but that could have been an issue. We think about how to communicate with our families without using the cell phone. What's your plan?
Or
I think we
what's
get
their
dependent.
phone number?
Or what's their phone number? Yeah, that's right.
What's in my wallet?
Yeah. Have emergency contacts in your wallet because, you never know when that phone may die or you lose that phone. And
or phone goes dead, and then you can't get on your phone to look up mom and dad's number.
Correct.
I don't know how many times I've run into
and
that.
I'll just be honest with you. Cell phones go down, people lose their minds.
Yeah.
And so, we want to make sure that people have a mindset, if this happens, this is what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so for a great Christmas gift would be a preparedness kit, first aid kit for their relatives to put in their car or keep in their home. We think about, a gallon of water a day for a person. We talk about food. We talk about little kids and diapers and formulas. We talk about medication and important papers that they may need in the event that there's some type of tornado. But just have a mindset, if this happens, this is what I'll do. And here's my resources located in my house or my car that I can go to when we need it. We call it a go kit.
That's right.
So if we have an emergency, I get to come to your house.
Come on. It's the Clark event.
Surely you're more prepared than anybody else.
What's so strange is, I'm watching weather and things like that, and my wife's sitting on the couch, and bless her heart, she just doesn't get tore up, and so I'll go out, and the nights of potential tornadic activity, she goes to bed. And I've called her a couple of times and says, hey, I said, you might want to get to a closet.
Yeah.
She relies on me, I guess, to a certain extent to let her know what's coming.
Sure.
So, but
I bet say if you have any kind of warning at all, you're probably not sleeping. You're probably up and you're watching.
Yeah. So that's our job. But everybody needs, 2 or 3 different devices to warn them in the event of severe weather. Stay close, pay close attention to the weather. Don't let it catch you off guard. We live in this busy world, and sometimes we neglect that. Today we look at our surroundings.
Yeah. I know over the past year, and I'm going to plug Brian and WGNS. That's my go-to now. If you're listening to us right now and you're in Rutherford County, you need to have that weather RX and know where it's at, because he jumps on live a lot of times, and that's strictly Rutherford County. So I can think the last one I went through over in the Christiana area and ended up down into Coffee County and headed that area. They were live and running in on that. So if you're sitting at home jockeying between 2, 4, 5, and 17 trying to find out something about Rutherford County, you can go once and go live and watch it here or see our map or anything. So
we got some potential severe weather come Thursday.
That's right.
So just pay close attention to the weather and be vigilant.
Mm-hmm.
So if number of towers were taken out in a tornadic event, what's your next best opportunity to communicate?
So we have a thing called TACN. So we have a Rutherford County Murfreesboro radio system. It's robust, and it does really, really well. However, in the event of a disaster type event here in Rutherford County, we can move over to the state system and continue our operation.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we do have a backup plan.
God bless you for your efforts.
Well, thank you.
For Rutherford County, and Merry Christmas, my brother.
Merry Christmas.
Yep. Everybody, Merry Christmas. We're off next week. We've learned 47 weeks out of the year we're pretty much playing in these shows, and it gets tough, but we're going to take best of, I guess, show you can say next week, and we're going to make Brian
Is that a
slave
thing,
and
actually?
do it, and he may bring somebody else in here. I don't know what he's going to do, but it's coming. But I just want to wish everybody Merry Christmas from Wayne and I both, and we sure thank you for listening to us and giving us a little bit of time out of your day every day. But please be safe, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Subscribe to Big G TV, local content that matters to Rutherford County.